Has everybody got the textbook?
Yes.
Sure.
You won't need it today. I emailed everybody the handouts for today. Let's see. Tasha, I think that's pronounced, is coming aboard. But I believe and hope I emailed everybody the 2 pages we will cover today. And page 2 has got.
Was that in the syllabus email, or was that a separate email?
I believe it was in there's one email that I sent, I believe, 5 attachments to you.
Let me check. I might have just not have seen it.
Well, I will say, I think 2 of the emails you had sent me, the reason I didn't know we needed the software at first, a couple of your emails have went straight to my junk folder.
Yeah.
Why? So might want to check there if you don't see it.
Yeah, Mike, I wonder if your email is at msn.com.
No, mine's a Gmail.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's because there were so many links in the emails you were sending. I think they got booted to my my junk folder.
I had thought about
I think
that.
it's 2 of them now that have gone straight there. So I've started checking it to make sure I don't miss anything from you.
Appreciate that. I wonder that the more people I have in the blind carbon copy or the 2 distribution list, I think the more it looks like spam.
So I checked my spam too. This is Noah Schaffline speaking, and I see your emails in my spam. The only one that went through was like the invite to the Google Classroom, which also had the Zoom link in it. So I was unaware that we had to have that, but I will get on that right now.
Yeah, I asked Sherry, if I was hoping it would be in the got another visitor coming in. Jonathan Williams Baxter is coming in. Apparently, believe it or not, they simply ran out of space in the class bulletin, and I don't know why they didn't go to a smaller font, but somehow get more space. Allegedly, she emailed everybody and said in an email that you were expected to have AutoCAD software already. Did you all get an email from Sherry after enrolling?
I did not, and I've checked my my junk, and that's not in there from her either.
Oh dear. Well, okay.
Unless it's on my work email, I do not remember seeing one.
I received one.
Okay.
Is there any way I could get you to resend me a copy of the 2 pages we were working off today? This is Benjamin Phelps.
Yes. Benjamin
I received
Phelps.
2 emails from you. Neither one I saw had attachments.
Okay, I'm writing myself a note here. Send Benjamin attachments. I'll take care of that during a break or before the next class. I don't know whether one of you brought up a good point. The fact that I got so many URLs in the message may have triggered the junk or spam filter. I don't recall having this problem before, so maybe that makes sense, because I don't believe I've put so much in the syllabus before. I don't know. I was hoping maybe if I limit the messages to only 3 or 4 at a time, it wouldn't get hit by the junk and spam filters. But, maybe I'll have to. I don't know. I'll give some thought to that. I'm glad you all are checking your spam filters. Yesterday, I went through a month of spam email, and it took probably 30 minutes just to scan it all to see if there was anything important. Rarely is. But getting back to the textbook, here's the second page of the handout we've got has the textbook or the exercise book problems given to you. Now these are simplified because the textbook has arcs at the corners, and I think there's a circle or a, you know, it's a little bit early to learn circles and arcs, so I kind of modified these 5 exercises so we can do them with what little we learned today. And maybe in an upcoming revision, they'll, you know, add a few exercises in the beginning of the book that will simply use the line command without circles and arcs. So you won't need your textbook today, and I better not promise it, but I suspect we can do without the textbook next week as well. But you know, for copyright rules, I better not go a third week plagiarizing the textbook. That reminds me, another attachment on the list was an errata sheet. Several of the textbook exercises have typos in them. Apparently the guy poorly dimensioned the many of the exercises. He had the system rigged to truncate to, I believe, to 2 decimals. Yeah, everyone we're looking at here is 2 decimals with nothing to the right of a decimal point. Anyway, because of the round off error, some of those are impossible to make exactly like the dimensions because the dimensions are conflicting. What else? I think there's a missing dimension on a few, so check out that errata sheet. I'll try to remind you as we assign exercises for homework that, hey, check, you know, there's a star next to this one in my textbook. That means there's a glitch with it. Check the errata sheet. Another attachment I meant to send out, and Benjamin, again, I'll send you all those attachments. But another one is a list of YouTube videos, including all the Zoom recordings from the last time I taught this class. It was over the summer. So get familiar. They're roughly in the order that I'll teach them. You know, today we'll cover the first, I don't know how many, I'd guess 3, maybe 3 YouTube videos on that attached. I think I saved it in PDF rather than, I use OpenOffice at home because I'm too cheap to deal with Microsoft. But anyway, we're well past 4:30. I've got Michael, Chalantha, Adam, Benjamin, David, Jonathan, and Noah. That's 7. I think that's about as many as I can expect. I think y'all have, most of you have gone to the classroom and accepted the invitation. There's far more that enroll, but you know, even after a few reminders, they still didn't go to the classroom. Maybe maybe the spam and junk filter. Anyway, let's proceed. This is the handout we're working today, and hopefully Benjamin, remind me during the break, and I'll send you the PDFs directly. We'll try to take a 10-minute break each hour. Let me get my AutoCAD back up and running here. When you first open up AutoCAD, this is what you'll see. AutoCAD, like Word and, you know, all software, Windows software these days, you can have many, many documents or drawings open at the same time. There's two ways to start a drawing. You can certainly click on this great big white start a drawing button, or you can click on this plus sign to start a new drawing. Fresh out of the box, they're rigged so the starter drawing are identical. I'll just click on the start drawing here. That opens up a drawing. In this case, it's named drawing number 3 because I had, playing before class, I had drawing 1 and 2 already. So the next available number was drawing number 3. Again, you can click on the plus sign and that would likely bring up a new blank drawing named drawing number 4. I'll try to keep using the words for menus. Like this menu across in the upper left is the quick menu. You can customize it. I try to keep AutoCAD as very, very near the fresh out of the box. Click on the capital A, and this is called the application menu. The command area is this interesting. Sometimes I can enlarge this command area and other times I can't. I haven't quite figured out why it's not consistent. But this is the command area. The bottom line is called the command line, and all these icons across the bottom are called the status bar. Okay, working from top down on page 1-1. Right away, I'd like you to ensure that your status bar is showing as many buttons as possible. Think of the status bar as being the dashboard to your car. Well, your headlights can be on or off, but if you don't have the control visible on your dashboard, you don't know if it's off or on. So I want you to have every single button possible visible on the status bar. And the way you get them all visible, I don't know how to put this in the handout. Try to remember to click on this 3 horizontal bars menu looking icon at the far right end of the status bar. Okay, click on the 3 horizontal bars typical for a meaning menu. Click on it and everything should have a check mark on it. If you got any on this menu list at the far right end of the status bar that are not checked, go ahead and check them. We'll only use 3 or 4. But this early in your training, I'd like you to have them all visible, and one by one we'll turn them on. So ensure that everything possible is visible on your status bar. Depending on your resolution of your monitor, sometimes it takes more than one row across your screen. So once you've got every single button possible, even though we'll only use a few of them this quarter, once you've got every button possibly visible, click in blank space to close the list of buttons, and turn all buttons off. I haven't figured out why, but for some reason my system insists on this snap button being on. You might use snap and grid for circuit boards, but I can't think of anybody else that wants to draw on a pegboard, set X and Y spacing. So click on all the buttons so that none of them are blue. This way we'll all be together. We got all the status bar button visible from this menu customization icon at the far right. Click in blank space to close it. We've got all of them turned off. Next step is draw a couple of lines at random directions. You probably should break that into a third step. But double check down here in the command area. Only click on an icon or type a command when you see the word type a command. If it doesn't say type a command, it's thinking you're still doing something from a minute ago. Just hit the escape button. I'll demonstrate it here. Say I want to, well, that's a bad example. Let me, say I want to draw a line and I look down and I'm in the middle of the circle process. If it doesn't say type a command, hit escape a couple of times. There might be a case where it takes 3 times of escape. But, hit it twice, or as many times as it takes before you can see the type of command. Hit escape. Get my cursor off of it. I got the transparency set a little odd. Let me raise it a little more solid. So again, hit escape if you don't see type a command. Later on, we'll see blue grips on our lines. Hit escape this early in your training. Hit escape when you see the blue grips on your lines until we learn what they're good for. Anyway, with the command prompt saying type a command, go over here to the line icon in the far upper left of the home tab of the ribbon. By the way, everybody has got drafting and annotation workspace. Those of you that are using a shipyard computer, the last person to use it might have gone into one of these other workspaces. So double check you got drafting and annotation workspace. There's an icon on the status bar. I think you got to customize it to have it up here on the quick menu. Although I've reset it back to the as shipped configuration and it stays there. But another way to get to the workspace is with this little gear looking icon on the status bar. Click on the triangle next to the little gear icon and ensure that your configuration, your dashboard appearance is set for drafting and annotation, not any of the 3D. So far, so good. Drafting and annotation workspace says type a command, click line, and just now with no status bars on, you can zigzag all over the place and hit enter when you're finished drawing a line. Now, all those zigzaggy lines I just drew are at a random length and a random direction, as if I was just, sketching with a pencil. No graph paper, no ruler, no T-square, no nothing. Just sketching with a pencil. But be aware that AutoCAD's smart enough to know which direction you want to go. So by pointing the direction you want to go with the cursor, you can type the distance you want to go in that direction and hit enter. And AutoCAD will create a line that many units in the direction of your cursor. I'll say 5 and hit enter. Hard to see until you twitch your mouse a bit. And it just created a line 5 units long straight toward my cursor. Aim it another direction and type 5 again. In this case, my cursor's a little short of the distance. Tweak your mouse a bit and you see it went 5 units to the upper left. say 2 units, 8 units, you get the idea. Just type the number of units you want to go and hit enter, and AutoCAD will understand that you want to draw that, align that many units toward your cursor. That's called direct distance. Came out in the 90s. But the next question is, well, how'd I get off, skip a page? The next question is, well, how do you draw horizontal and vertical? Let me hit escape to finish my line. By the way, space bar, it emulates the enter button, with the exception of when you're typing text. This may be the last time I talk about ortho, but the ortho status bar button is the old-fashioned way of rigging a T-square so you can draw horizontal and vertical lines, but nothing else. So as a history lesson, let's come down here and turn on the ortho button. You can see my cursor now. There's kind of like a carpenter square looking icon. That's the old ortho T-square setting to force you to draw horizontal and vertical. Us old dogs used to type the word ortho and then type on or off. But let's click, everybody click on this ortho button. Looks like it's, let's see, coordinates, model and paper space, snap, grid, infer constraints, never use that. Dynamic input, got no use for it. The next one is ortho or ortho mode. Let's click on ortho mode. The icon, the status bar button turns blue, indicating it's on. Now check it out. Glance at the command prompt. It says type a command. If it says anything else, hit escape until it doesn't. Click on the line icon and check it out. I am hardwired, restricted, so that I can only draw horizontal and vertical lines. Depending on whether far away vertical or far away horizontal, I can only draw horizontal, ortho lines, up, down, right, or left. Okay, that's the old way. At any time, even during drawing a line, you can come down here and turn it off. And then you're free to draw odd angles, come down and turn it back on, and you're forced to follow the T-square again. What's the F button? F8 on your keyboards. Another way of turning it off and on. When you're finished drawing, hit enter. Check it out. Let's click the line icon, maybe draw, say, 5 units to the right and 2 units up and 2 units to the right and 2 units down and 5 units to the right, and hit enter. So now with taking advantage of direct distance to get the length of the line we want, as well as the old ortho T-square method, we can draw orthographic lines, up, down, right, or left, which may be fine if you're drawing a floor plan. I always like to talk about coordinates this early, though I don't know that you really need them until 3D work. I manage, well, my business card says I'm a project manager for construction of buildings at the Air Force Base. And it's not not unusual to see a building be a corner of a building be at a specific X comma Y coordinate, like a northing and easting or latitude and longitude. In machine design work or shipbuilding, I don't know that anything would be on an absolute coordinate. You know, who cares latitude and longitude? And there might be a datum, you know, ship's dead center, for example, might be a 0,0 point, maybe. Anyway, I'd like you to be familiar that AutoCAD does deal with these absolute coordinates. You know, again, like you're steering a radio controlled boat or airplane, you could type the coordinates that you want it to follow, and it'll consider that as a flight path to go from 1,1 to 10,5 to, I don't know, 20,10. Again, latitude and longitude, but you know, again, the very first point might be assigned to an absolute coordinate. So check your command prompt. It says type a command. If it doesn't hit escape, click the line icon. Yep, must have slid off a bit. The command prompt now says, okay, you want to draw a line, specify the first point. Now's your chance to type an X comma Y coordinate. Like 0,0 or 1,1. Again, typically 2 corners of a building will be at perfect northing and eastings I've seen in Corps of Engineer work. So type the absolute coordinate. The first number is how far to the right of the 0,0 point you want to go. And the second point or second number, the number after the comma, is how far above the 0,0 point you want to go. 0,0 is also known as the origin, kind of like the equator in Greenwich Village, I believe, is 0 longitude, 0 latitude. So hit enter, and AutoCAD will home in on the 1,1 point, typically close to the lower left corner. But later today, I'll show you how to zoom and pan so that the origin could be off the upper right of your screen, depending on how you've adjusted your display of your drawing. Anyway, we started at a X coordinate of 1 being 1 unit from the right of the origin, and a Y coordinate of 1 being 1 unit above the origin. Now let's make this little stair step here. I owe you the erase command yet. Forgot that. Well, let's work on this little simple staircase here. We got ortho on to force us to go horizontal and vertical. We started at an absolute coordinate, again, like a latitude, longitude, or northing and easting. Activate my AutoCAD, toggling back and forth between windows sometimes confuses me. I'll type the 1 unit horizontal here, and then the half a unit, 0.5. TYP is kind of drafting jargon for typical. Last I heard, the shipyard frowns on using that, but you still see it in textbooks. Anyway, I'll aim my cursor to the right and type 1 and hit enter. I'll aim my cursor up and type 0.5, enter. I'll aim my cursor to the right and type 1, enter. You get the idea. Up and 0.5, enter, right and 1, enter, up and point, not dash, 0.5, enter, 1, enter, 0.5. And I'll hit enter to finish. And again, this is handy for floor plan work. Let me show you the erase command. And before we go any further, double check it says type a command. Anything else, hit the enter or the escape key. When it says type a command, let's play with the erase icon. This might be like, what's it called? PowerPoint. Or maybe PowerPoint has like a bar of soap, like a eraser. Anyway, click on the little pencil eraser icon. Notice it's in the modify panel of the home tab of the ribbon. All of these are kind of replications or, modifications of.
On mine, on while I'm on AutoCAD, I don't have that same menu up top. I just kind of have a drop down menu. So I was trying to find out how to get the same top menu you have up there, but I can't seem to get it up there.
All right. I think you can move your cursor into a blank space of the ribbon. That was Mike talking, right?
Yes.
You move your cursor into the blank space and right click.
All right.
And nothing happens.
Nope.
Okay, right click, slide down to show panels.
All right.
And this early, I got all of them checked.
All right.
Do you have none of them checked, or?
I am currently trying to get back to that menu right now. I got my Zoom reopened and I had to get out of full screen there. Sorry about that. My dog is going crazy right beside me. Right click. You said it should be under what now?
Let me start over again. Right click in blank space, slide down to show panel titles. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. The rest on show panels. And I think that'll clicking show panels alone ought to.
Still not getting it because like when I click in like empty space, I'm not getting that option.
All right, this is one of the YouTube videos. Let's try to reset the profile. I'm a little embarrassed I can't walk you through the better way, but in the drawing area here, drawing window.
Yes, sir.
Right click on your mouse.
All right.
With few exceptions, the bottom one is options. When you right click in the drawing area,
Yes, sir.
You can also type the word options. Click on options.
All right.
And I just happened to be doing this a few hours ago. Avoid the temptation to play with all these settings, because unless you remember how you got there, it's you know what to get back. So please avoid playing with all these settings on all these tabs within options, until we got a little more practice or experience. Anyway, click on the profiles tab of the options.
All right.
Whatever profile you got selected,
I don't even have an option for a profile. I have display, open and save, plot and publish, system, user preference, drafting, selection, and online.
Interesting. You got AutoCAD 2018, right?
I believe it's the 17 one.
Well, let's
Is what-
go to the command prompt. For good measure, click on the bottom line of the command area and type the word options. And hit enter.
All right.
Does that show you the 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, still got the same options here.
Oh dear. I wonder if your system administrator is, kind of rigged your AutoCAD so you can't stir up the settings. Well, for the sake of the other students, Mike, when I say click on the line icon, type the word line on the command prompt.
Gotcha. Now, see, there's a drop down menu I can get to, like the line, the like the different types of lines we can draw, but I don't see anything for like the erase is what I'm looking for right this second.
Well, do you have a drop down menu called modify?
Let's see. Sorry, my Zoom window keeps getting full screen. I keep having to come off. Yes, I do have modify.
Okay.
All right.
Drop
Here,
down.
yep, I found it.
Okay. Are you in the drafting and annotation workspace?
Yes.
Okay. It almost sounds like somebody rigged your AutoCAD to be like a 20-year-old AutoCAD. Before these features were, for a while, it was nothing but typing on the command prompt and dropping down menus.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of where I'm at. Everything's a drop down menu.
Interesting. Well, forgive me, but either type the command
Yeah, I think I can get that out.
icon.
I was just trying to get so everything was set up a little bit easier, but I still have the drop down menus. I should be able to do everything still.
Okay, 10 minutes after class, I forget everything anybody talked about. Maybe send me a message and I'll research this a little further. For the rest of the class, I'll continue on with the profile selected, click reset, click yes, I want to continue. And it, sparks go flashing, click OK. And things are set. In theory, I think there's a few exceptions, but in theory, all these buttons and all these system variables and all these options are rigged as if AutoCAD was being used the first time fresh out of the box. Notice that AutoCAD insists on turning on some of these status bar buttons, whether you want them on or not. Looks like it left them all displayed as I wanted them. That's good. I think some of the the settings of status bar buttons are not the way I want them. But again, for the rest of the class, right click, pick options, go to profiles tab on the far right, click reset, click yes, a bunch of sparks, click OK, and with few exceptions, it rigs your AutoCAD to be fresh out of the box again. Well, getting back to the erase command, Mike, go to modify, drop down and pick erase, or type the word ERASE. I'll click on the erase icon, select one of your lines and hit enter, and you've erased it. By the way, hitting spacebar from the type of command prompt invokes the last used command. So having just used the erase command, I can hit the space bar and the erase command comes up again. You can do that for the line command. Circles, arcs, there's a few that are complicated. But the erase and line are simple commands that just hitting space bar will invoke them again. You know, click a line or an arc or a circle or text or what in your drawing, hit enter or space bar to complete the process, and it's gone. Space bar again, check it out. You don't have to just select one, you can select multiple items. If you accidentally select the same one multiple times, notice the command prompt says, hey, you just selected a duplicate. And it keeps track of how many objects in your selection set. We'll cover this in greater detail in week 3. But when you've got selected no more and no less than you want to modify, with the erase command in this case, hit enter or space bar to complete, and they're gone. Again, space bar or click on the erase or select it from a menu. You know, in week 3, I'll show you some express ways of selecting stuff to modify. But today, just click on them individually and hit enter. Hit space bar, type erase, click the icon, pick it off the menu. Erase some more and hit enter, space bar, click some more. Okay, not quite an hour left. Yeah, let me keep going, then I'll give you a break. Let me reset my status bar the way I want yours to be. I turned everything off except ortho. Remember, ortho's the old way that forces you to go up, down, right, or left, and absolutely diagonal lines is prohibited unless you type, you know, do some keyboard typing work to override it. The new way is the next status bar button to the right. And I think it's the only way you ever need. Again, I probably should stop teaching ortho. The next icon over is polar tracking. Click on that and instantly the ortho turns off. Only one or the other can be on because they're so similar, the old way and the new way. Now check it out. The polar tracking icon has got one of these little white triangles next to it. Most of these status bar buttons have got the white triangle next to them, and that is settings for that button besides its on or off status. You know, think of these settings, you know, kind of like all the adjustments your radio can have. Station, volume, bass, treble, all the, you know, your radio can be on or off, but set to a station and set to a treble and set to volume. Anyway, click on this triangle. And when we reset the profile, it set it back to 90 degrees so that polar tracking will guide you in 90, 180, 270, and 360 degrees. In other words, up, down, or up, left, down, and straight right. Okay, 0 degrees is straight right, unless you rig it differently. 90 degrees is straight up, 180 to the left. I recommend setting it to 45 degrees. It'll still do up, down, right, or left, but it also do 45, 135, 225, and what was it, 315? My math is terrible. So I suggest set it so that it'll snap in every 45-degree increment instead of every 90-degree increment. So you get twice as many T-square settings, kind of like those old drafting machines with the clear plastic bar you could snap into different angles. You can set the clear plastic bar in any increment of 45 degrees by setting the polar tracking button to 45-degree increment. Now check it out. Double check says type a command, click line or type line. I can go up, down, right, or left. Direct distance still work, but check it out. I can also go at 45 degrees, 135, 225, and 315. Or I can break free of that setting. I forget what the tolerance is. Seem to recall 4 degrees. You know, if your cursor is more than 4 degrees, I guess, then it'll disable the T-square setting and allow you to go in a random direction. So you can go in a random direction if you stay away from the 45-degree increments. See, when you get close to a perfect 45-degree increment, a green dotted line pops up, and you can follow that line or break free of it by deviating more than 4 degrees off. Again, your relative direct distance still works. I'll type 5 and hit enter. AutoCAD went to this random angle I specified with my cursor. I can pop it into one of those 45-degree increment polar tracking lines and hit 5, enter. Straight up, pick 5, enter. Go off at a random distance, random angle, type 5, enter. Another random distance or random angle, type 5, enter. So it's far more versatile to use polar tracking set at a 45-degree increment than it is to simply use ortho being on or off. Now, granted, with polar tracking, you can get careless and you think you're on one of the polar tracking lines when you're slightly off. So you can make mistakes with polar tracking, but I suggest we forever forget the old ortho and learn to use polar tracking. It's set at 90, 45. There might be if you're drawing an isometric depiction or pictorial, you might set it at 30 degrees. If you got a plate with slots that go in, I don't know, 37 3/4 degrees, you can add that to the angles set by the increment. Cover that a little later. So far, so good.
Yes.
Okay, I see on my cheat sheet here. Okay, I still need to learn you the options of the line command. Undo and close options. By the way, these anytime you see these URLs here, that's a link. You copy paste that and you go to the YouTube where I show the, nothing but this process. Some of them are a few years old. And hate to tell you this, dog. Some of them, years ago, I forced myself to use this, what's it called, dynamic input. And even though I forced to do several tutorials with it, for some reason, I don't know, Christmas holiday or something came up and I forgot about it. And I haven't, I went back to my old habits and haven't regret. Anyway, be prepared that some of the old ones, I'm using this dynamic input, which changes things slightly. Anyway, getting back to the line command, I got polar tracking on. I got it set to every 45-degree increment. By the way, if you click this tracking settings down here, not only you can change the increment angle, but you can add additional angles like 30. Here, I don't know what 37 is there. I'm surprised resetting the profile let it remain. But you can have it snap at every 45-degree increment angle plus the additional angles of 37, 12 and a half, 193 and 3/4 or whatever. But this early in your training, I think all you need is, just go to the shortcut, select 45 and be done with it. Click in blank space as type a command. I'll click the line icon or type line. I'll specify a point, say 20, 20 to the right of the origin and 20 units above the origin. Oop, a little further than I expected. That's okay. With or without polar tracking and with or without direct distance, I'll just pick random angles and random distances. If I accidentally specify a wrong point, I don't have to stop the command and undo and start over again. I can just invoke the undo option of the line command. It's kind of sort of similar to this undo icon on the quick menu. I think all Microsoft applications have an undo icon up there. But instead of undoing all the vertices for all the segment, it only does the whoa. Need a liar out of me here. All right, we'll start over again. Random distances and random directions. Oh, okay, I clicked that icon instead of the undo option. There's several ways of invoking the option. You can click on the word on the command prompt, close or undo. I suggest get in the habit of right-clicking. Say I accidentally went over here. Say your favorite curse word, right-click. And the second section here on the cursor menu shows all available options of the command you're using. We'll undo. That'll go back in one segment back in time. I can repeat it, right click, pick undo, go back another segment back in time. be more careful and go my special ways. Say I want to terminate at the exact point I began. That would be good use of the close option of the line command. So you can type C, enter, click on the word close in the command area, or again, I'd suggest right click, second section, you got a little lines for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Down here, the zooming and pan, we'll play with those later tonight. Where was I? Click close, and that'll continue the line to where you began and terminate the process. I'll click close. Went right back where I started and hit enter behind the scenes. So I'm now back to type a command. Be on the lookout. You got to have 2 segments before the close option is available. Here I got just 1 segment. Undo is the only option available. I need 3 vertices or 2 segments before close option is available. So in other words, you got to have a triangle or square, or you got to have at least 3-pointed objects to use the close option of the line command. Okay, got a little out of order. We talked about coordinates. Again, with architecture and civil engineering, buildings and roads, your 2 corners of your buildings may well have a absolute coordinate. Another way would be to have 1 corner be an absolute coordinate and 1 wall be due north, or a specific angle relative to north. We covered the old ortho and the new polar tracking status bar buttons. We covered the erase command. Okay, I gave you the multiple selection. You can select a single item and hit enter to erase just 1 item, or you can keep click, 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 and erase many objects at the same time. We just covered the line commands and its undo and close options. Direct distance, again, is type the number of units you want to go, and AutoCAD will send the line that number of units directly towards your cursor. Ortho forces your cursor to be up, down, right, or left from the last point. Polar tracking, again, where's polar tracking? Polar tracking, you can set, change it from 90 degree. All textbooks have you start with 90, but I'll give you a head start. Suggest use 45. If you want to deviate from the increment angle, just get 4 degrees or so away from the polar tracking line, and you can pick a random angle. All right, we've been an hour. Want to take a 10-minute break? Or let's see, my computer says it's 5:35. We'll reconvene at say 5:45. 10 minutes.
You going to send me the?
Thank you, Benjamin. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, pull it out of my Yahoo sent folder.
I also think there may be a way to drop files in Zoom, but I don't remember. In case nobody, somebody else doesn't have it.
Well, Noah, you've mentioned the Zoom window. I'm not familiar with that term being used for AutoCAD. You can drag
I'm
a
talking-
drawing into another drawing.
I'm talking about dropping the files into the Zoom meeting that we're on right now.
Oh, okay. Well, there is a way. Is there a way? I don't think with Zoom I can give you control of the show. I don't think I can make you a host. But yeah, within the Zoom meeting, within AutoCAD, whether we're on Zoom or not on Zoom, we can open up other files. So yes, we can bring in any file that you've got access to through your hard drive or your shared drives. And I think there's a way you can get them off the internet, but I've never really been interested in that. Anyway, let's see. Let's see if I can find a copy of the one that's got the 5 messages. Here we go. Students, please create a folder and save the attached. These are the 5 attachments. Michael, you're the one missing. When you get my age, memory is the second thing to go, so bear with me. I'm going to send this to, oh, I'm sorry, Benjamin. Good thing I wrote it down. Okay, let me forward it to Benjamin. I believe you should have received it. Yeah, you should have received it, but your filter may have put it somewhere that you weren't expecting it. I'll put it down.
It's Feltz, Benjamin, my last name, then my first name. Felts.
I'm sorry. Let me open my spreadsheet of contacts. This is the spreadsheet of the what do you call YouTube tutorials. I'll open up my spreadsheet of students, and Feltz Benjamin. There we are. Thought this would be quicker than taking dictation. Sorry. Paste and send. Anybody else need the 5 attachments? Away it goes. Now be on the lookout. Okay, this is a different message. I've made some improvements to the syllabus file. Let me send you the state-of-the-art syllabus file, Benjamin. I'll open that and attach the state-of-the-art syllabus file for good measure. Okay, I think you can open up a Open Office ODT file with Word. So just double click on it when you receive it, Benjamin, and if it says, what is this? Say, hey, open it with Word. I'd be surprised if you can't read it with Word. Anybody else have any? Let's see, who was it? I've forgotten already. Who's got the pull down menus?
It was me, but I got it up. I got the menu working now.
It years ago you could rig your AutoCAD to look like AutoCAD Classic.
Yeah, I think somehow my I was messing around with it so much I don't even remember how I got it to drop down, but I think maybe under view or something I hit, and it went where it got to the normal menu like you guys had originally. But I think I got it to where it needed to be now.
Interesting. Okay. Let's get back to AutoCAD here. Get back to the handout. Let me take a screen. I don't know how to, I don't know if Zoom helps me out with taking attendance. It should, tell me how many minutes each of you were tuned in, but I'm going to take a pic with my cell phone just so I can remember who's participating for attendance sake. I forget, I was talking with somebody on the phone a couple hours ago. There are several AutoCAD workalikes. They're so close to AutoCAD. You learn one, you can learn the other. Maybe only 1 out of 5 button clicks or steps in your process might be a hair different. IntelliCAD is one. NanoCAD's another one. ProgeCAD, PROGE-CAD. I think BricsCAD, BRISCAD. Anyway, somehow these competing companies legally make something incredibly close to AutoCAD. And that's unfortunately the 1 out of 5 steps kind of slow down keeping up with class. Another software from Autodesk.com is Inventor. And every so often a student says, well, why can't we have Inventor in the night school? Unfortunately, not enough students at the same time make the request. I think it's only used in a few departments. That might be something to add if there's ever a market enough for it. Yeah, I learned AutoCAD back in '83. And everything except dimensioning, maybe a few exceptions, but most things were done strictly by typing on the command prompt. And I'm glad I did learn that way. If you learn the typing procedure to drive AutoCAD, you can go further into programming and macro writing or also known as script file writing. You can develop some automation, mass production tools if you know the typing process for AutoCAD. Some people, Autodesk insists the icons are faster, but I challenge that. Again, dimensioning's probably quicker with icons. Drawing lines and circles and arcs and text. If you do a lot of typing, you can probably type line faster than you can move your cursor up to the upper left corner and click. All right, my computer clock says it's 5:46. Is everybody back from break? Benjamin, did you get those attachments?
Yes, I did. They came through. I appreciate it.
Double click on, I think it's called page 1-2 and 1-1 ampersand 2 for today's handout.
Okay.
Earlier, I sent out the entire 9-week program with the exception of the final project. But every page has the word draft, kind of like a watermark, because I'm constantly making changes. But I'll send you that if you want. Just be aware that a couple days before class, I might send a fresh one that's got some typos fixed. I highly doubt there'll be significant change. Any rate, let me slide the Zoom participants out of my way. Let's go to the bottom half of page 1-1 of today's handout. The next page has got exercises very close to what's in your textbook, but they're simplified because we haven't learned how to draw arcs and circles yet. This diagonal here might be the hardest part. But before we go to those simplified exercise book exercises, let's draw a few of these with what we know already. Let's see, remember direct distance. All lines are horizontal and vertical, so you could use ortho, but I think you'd be ahead if you get familiar with the newer polar tracking method. You could leave polar tracking set as 90, but I think you'll get ahead if you get used to it being set to 45. When we learn the mirror command, the 45-degree line will be appreciated. I forget which week the mirror command is. Anyway, none of them, doesn't look like I got any requirement to begin at a specific X, Y. Used to have a lower left corner, so let's click line. What happened? Line. I'll just pick a random point. Which way should we go? Clockwise or counterclockwise? No, I forget which is standard. I'm starting to go counterclockwise, so taking advantage of the polar tracking angle going in the 0-degree direction, I'll type 1 enter to send my line to the width of this first rectangle. I'll aim my polar tracking straight up and go 0.5, enter. Up. Force of habit, I just zoomed in. I need to learn you that yet. Aim my polar tracking cursor to the left and type 1, enter. And then invoke the close option to terminate where I began. Right click and pick close. And there's a little, 10 by 0.5 rectangle here. Next one's almost identical. Hit space bar to bring up the last used command. Interesting. I hit space bar when the PDF file's active and it goes to next sheet. So again, it's a little confusing jumping back and forth. Go to line, pick a point, 1.5, enter. Up 0.8, enter. Aim the cursor to the left with the assistance of polar tracking and type 1.5 and hit enter. And right click and close. And there's the second rectangle. Everybody keeping up?
Yes.
Before we go to the more complex ones in the second row, let me learn you how to do panning and zooming. Again, the URLs after the AutoCAD command show a little 5-minute or less screen capture video tutorial of nothing but that command. So in addition to let me double check, I'm still recording, aren't I? Yes, good. And besides watching the recording of this class, you can go to those old 5-minute YouTube tutorials on the, I think it's called Chart of YouTube Tutorials, one of the 5 handouts that I emailed earlier. Anyway, the easiest way to zoom is simply roll the wheel in the middle of your mouse. I don't think you can buy a Windows computer that doesn't have the IntelliMouse wheel on the mouse. When they first came out, there was I had to accommodate for computers that didn't have the mouse wheel yet. Anyway, to zoom in, just roll the rubber wheel toward your screen, and it kind of snaps into detents as you go closer. Conversely, if you want to see, if you want to go from a close-up view to a distant view, roll the IntelliMouse wheel toward you. You'll pull on the top of the IntelliMouse wheel. Then you can zoom in and zoom out all day long. Again, just click somewhere in your drawing area, probably dead center is wise. Push the IntelliMouse wheel toward the screen and you'll zoom in. Pull the IntelliMouse wheel toward you and you'll zoom out. Notice the origin 0, 0, remains right at the start of the stair steps we drew. There's a way you can make that X, Y icon stick to the lower left corner if it's distracting, and you can even turn it off if you like. Not sure if that's in the options. Typing the old UCS icon. UCS is User Coordinate System. It allows you to alter some settings. Let's zoom in again. Oh, I already did it. Panning, like in your movies, chances are there's little mini railroad tracks on the sidewalk as they, follow the, actor down the sidewalk. Maybe, I don't know, they might use these man lifts now to, anyway, push the IntelliMouse wheel straight down. You get your cursor turns into this little glove, and push yourself to see more to the right. Release the IntelliMouse wheel when you like, zoom in or out by rolling it. Press the IntelliMouse wheel. And it's kind of like you're in a helicopter. Nothing moves in your drawing. You're just reaching down to your drawing and kind of pushing your helicopter to the left to see more stuff in the lower X coordinates, or over here to the negative X positive Y quadrant. So zoom and pan is pretty, maybe half of what you'll ever need in altering your display. To complicate things, I forget what this is called. If it's not visible, there's a type in command to make it pop up again, which I can't remember now, but click on one of these downward triangles and you get icons. Zoom all zooms out until you see all there is to see, including some stuff that are made invisible. Zoom extents is pretty handy. That zooms out so you see all the ink in your drawing. But the stuff that's invisible, like the limits of the grid, which I don't teach anymore, I'm not sure there's a way you can paint things to be invisible. Anyway, to see all the ink there is to see, you can zoom extents, and that'll, right down there's the start of the stairs, and right there's the top of my doodle work. So I'm looking at everything as large as possible on the screen. Notice that the UCS icon can no longer fit at the 0,0 origin, so it got bumped over here to the left, the lower left corner. Zoom out. A shortcut to this zoom extents is simply double click on the IntelliMouse wheel. A little faster than I just did. Let me hit it. Whoa. Okay, let me try that again. Zoomed out, double click on the wheel, click, click, and nothing happens. Click, click. There we go. I guess it's a little time sensitive. I believe you can adjust the sensitivity of the double click. Another nice zoom feature is this zoom real time. Like I pointed out, zooming in and out by rolling the wheel kind of goes a step, a step, a step. Well, what if you only want to go a third of a step? That would be a good use for zoom real time. Now your cursor turns into a magnifying glass. Set it in the center of your stuff and oh, no, click with your left mouse and slide your cursor up to slowly zoom in. slide your cursor down, holding the left mouse button to zoom out. So if for whatever reason you're not satisfied with the rolling the wheel, going from step to step to step, you can fine tune the zoom adjustment with the zoom real time option or command on the flyout toolbar of the center icon on this, whatever you call this thing. Another way, I'll hit escape to bail out twice. Another way is to use the type in command, type zoom enter, or simply use the alias or abbreviation, type Z enter. And right now it's real time if you hit enter. Whenever you see the brackets here, that's kind of guessing what you want to do. And if that is the case, simply hit space bar enter to nod your head saying, yes, I want to go zoom real time. And you can zoom in and out. Slowly and smoothly. Hit escape, escape. Another way is, from the type of command, you can right click, and right here are some display altering items on the cursor menu. The steering wheels is I don't think you need that till 3D. I can click pan. I still think pushing down the IntelliMouse wheel is easier. I can click zoom and zoom in and out real time. The type in command also has zoom previous, Z enter. I can go to the last display simply by clicking or right clicking and selecting previous. Zoom window is a nice feature. I think that's on the flyout menu here. Yeah. Or Z enter, W enter is the quick type in of alias. Z enter for the zoom command, and W enter for the window option of the zoom command. With this, you can specify exactly what you want to fill your screen by drawing a little rectangle around it. Click with your left mouse on each corner, and it shoots you to a zoom and pan, making what you had in the window as large as possible on your display. But again, I tend to fire hose students, practice rolling the IntelliMouse wheel in and out, and practice pushing the IntelliMouse wheel down. I think you can go pretty far with just the IntelliMouse methods. Oh, next week, I believe we'll learn circles. I wouldn't call this a defect of AutoCAD, but AutoCAD is kind of hindered because it was originally coded in 1982. And remember, computers were incredibly slow and had extremely low memory. So AutoCAD was written with the limitations of the hardware at the time. Well, hardware has gotten far faster, and hard disks have gotten, gigabytes larger, maybe terabytes now. Unfortunately, for the old legacy drawings and the old geezers that learned the old way, AutoCAD is somewhat stuck with the original architecture it used. And part of the limitation of that architecture is it's got a finite amount of display memory assigned to generate the display. So because of that, I'm not sure if I can simulate it, but sometimes you zoom out and it's not working for me. Sometimes you zoom out and you'll hit a hard stop. You know, you zoom out and it won't zoom any further. And that's because it's run out of the visual memory. It's been many years, but I recall that I'd see a little line there and I couldn't erase it. I couldn't copy it. I couldn't move it. I couldn't select it. You know, apparently somebody sneezed in the video card factory, I guess. Anyway, when you can't quite believe what you're seeing, it may well be that the display memory has been taxed, you know, excessively. The temporary workaround is type regen or RE, and that'll regenerate the display all the way from the computer file. You know, totally rebuild, you know, considering exactly what you're looking at. It'll rebuild it and refresh it. Just type RE, enter, and it'll refresh it. This is a little early, but say I'm going to draw a microscopic circle here. I think we'll learn circles next week. Now check it out. Watch it make a liar out of me. I'm going to zoom in on it. Notice how the circle looks kind of like a stop sign. This is because of the, what is it, almost 40-year-old architecture that AutoCAD is limited to. AutoCAD has made the assumption that you want to see a circle fast. You don't want to see it perfect. You just want to see it fast. So with the limited display memory, you quite often get hexagons or octagons or, you know, these polygons instead of a perfect arc or circle. You know, you can't quite believe what you're seeing, so type RE or REGEN, and that'll regenerate your display. Now, in practical, you know, in real life, you won't need to do this very often because AutoCAD does a regen behind the scenes in a lot of the commands. Not all, but some of the commands will, you'll have a regen done behind the scenes. You know, as computer got faster, they put the regen into the icon or into the type in command. Now the next question is, well, you know, that's kind of stupid. Why is there not enough display memory assigned to you know, give me a perfect and fast display? Well, that's one of the settings of AutoCAD. When you start a new drawing with a start from scratch template, you know, which by default is acad.dwt. DWT file is identical to a drawing file, which is named with a .dwg. It's just like a Word file. You got DOC for the documents, and you got DOT for the template. Well, the stripped down, bare bones, no thrills AutoCAD default template is a bit behind the times and has a set amount of memory for the display. It's grown a little bit over the years, but you can adjust that display memory so you have to regen less often. I think there's a way you can get to it through the options one of those many tabs in the options process. But I learned, and I suggest y'all learn, to type in view res. The hard part's remembering it ends in S instead of Z. I guess it stands for view resolution, maybe. So type the word view res with an S instead of Z and hit enter. At first it asks, do you want fast zooms? I don't have any idea why anybody would say, no, I don't want fast zooms. In fact, I think there's a setting you can have it bypass this stupid question. The one possible exception might be a programmer that for some reason wants to buy a split second of time, by not having a fast zoom. But to you and me, it's annoying. Just hit enter to accept the suggested Y for yes in the default brackets. You don't have to click the word yes. You don't have to type Y. You just hit enter to accept the suggested default in the brackets. This is the number that controls how much memory is allocated to the display. For many years, it was set at a default of 100. Now it's 1,000. I see no reason why it shouldn't be set to the maximum of 20,000. And your system administrator may well go into your AutoCAD.dwt template and rig it so view res is set to 20,000. AutoCAD, I guess it's because of the old geezers and the old programs that they're reluctant to make big changes from release to release. Anyway, I suggest simply type 20,000, enter. And now I'd have to work harder to force the regen to come up again. There's another circle. Why don't you make a liar out of me? I got to go much closer before you start to see the line segments. So again, some people will say, well, AutoCAD's garbage. The new CAD systems don't have this problem. Well, again, AutoCAD's handicapped because of the original architecture, and there's several languages you can write programs to run in AutoCAD, and for the sake of the old programs, they really don't want to change too drastically from release to release. The old programs might have to be totally rewritten if they did, if they used a architecture from state-of-the-art computers right now. Anyway, just punchline is, if you can't quite believe what you're seeing, type RE enter to regenerate the display. And if you got to type RE enter more than a few times an hour, then remember to type view res with an S and set it to 20,000 to minimize how often you need to RE enter regen. It was a lot longer than I'd hoped for. I'm zooming back out. Let's do the sixth one here. Let's see, I got you till 7 o'clock, right? 4:30 to 7 o'clock, 2.5 hours. So I think we'll have time to get well into the next page of exercises. Let's do the sixth little training wheel exercise here on page 1-1 of week 1's handouts. Here I tell you to erase several at a time, so I probably ought to put that up in the list of new things we're learning instead of just single. Whoa, what did I do? instead of just single selection. Anyway, don't see a absolute coordinate in the lower left corner or any of the corners, so let's just put it at a random point. It's an incredibly small piece, about the size of this top row middle column one. So let's draw it right here. We'll click the line icon or type L enter or type LINE enter or pick it from the menu but I forgot that problem went away. Let's click in the lower left corner. I got polar tracking set for 45. Click back in Windows, I'll set my cursor. Now, sometimes if you got a slope table or your mouse cord is stretched, you might break free before you hit the enter button. So be aware of that. I got my cursor pointed straight to the right. I'll type, that is 0.7, right? 0.7, enter. Up 0.3, enter. Send my cursor in the 0 degree direction of 45-degree increments. Ooh, I got to do some arithmetic. I hate it when that happens. All right, this is 9 minus 6. That would be, or 0.9. No, I don't have to do arithmetic. It's simply 0.6. Here I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. 0.6, enter. Straight up, 0.3, enter. Okay, no arithmetic now either. 0.9, enter, or space bar. Straight up. Okay, my mouse button, my mouse cord is giving me a little trouble. Point it straight up. 0.2 dimension I see in the upper right of this drawing. Hit enter. Aim it straight to the left. 0.4, enter. What went wrong? Why am I not directly above the origin? Oh, spoke too soon. I fooled myself thinking the line was as long all the way to the cursor. Forgot about breaking free. Okay, so it is correct. I can have my cursor any place. Right click and invoke the close option of the line command. And there's a perfect second row, third column, a little carpet template or soundproofing template, whatever. Don't forget the erase command. Click the erase icon, double check it says type a command. Old AutoCADs used to simply say command colon. Now it says type a command. Click the erase icon or type erase enter or type E enter, the alias for erase. I'll try to keep with the icons and the right clicks. You can erase one thing at a time, hit enter. Hit enter to invoke the last used command. Erase and line are excellent candidates. Arcs and circles are a little more complicated. I can machine gun several. Again, in the third week, we'll learn how to window stuff. Select everything with great big windows. Again, if you select the same thing several times, AutoCAD says, hey, that's a duplicate and the number of objects in your selection set remains constant. In week 3, I'll show you how to unselect stuff. How you can modify your selection set. Anyway, hit enter, space bar, their history. covered everything. Coordinates. Orthos, the old. Polar tracking's the new state of the art. Learned how to pan with the center mouse wheel. Learned how to zoom in and out with the center mouse wheel. And a double click on the center mouse wheel to zoom extents, which will show you all the ink in your drawing there is to see. Regen and view res. Purify and reduce the number of times you need to regen to get a accurate, fast display. Still got everybody. Got 9 participants, including myself. Let me take another photograph. I don't think we've lost any or gained any, but just for good measure. You know, quite often I forget to take attendance. Ready for the next page?
Yes, sir.
Anybody want anything repeated?
No, sir, I'm good.
I just remembered something. In addition to hitting escape when you see something other than type a command, once in a while you'll accidentally click in your drawing and select stuff when no command is operating. You get these little blue grips, they're called. They're useful, but that's another lesson. This early in your training, simply hit escape, you know, once, sometimes twice. So hit escape when you see something other than type a command. Hit escape when you accidentally see blue grips on your screen. Again, those blue grips are, you know, they are useful, but let's keep working in steps. Let's go to the next page. Number 1 in your textbook has got little, can I zoom in? Yeah. Instead of having square corners, they're filleted or rounded corners here. And I think this has got a slot instead of a square. You know, so all of these have got circles or arcs in your textbook, but again, I simplified them just so we, you know, can do them after learning nothing but the line command and erase command and a few settings and a few options. How about your homework is to complete all 5 of these and send me the .dwg file. I think we got time. I can do probably 3 of them before 7 o'clock. I give you a little hint. Number 8 and 9 are impossible to do in one process and then hit C to close. I guess, well, I take that back. You could draw lines on top of lines, you know, like you're doing an Etch-a-Sketch, you know, follow the line you drew and add more. But if you start with an absolute coordinate like 0, 0 or 10, 10, then it's easy to, you know, like if this is 10, 10 here, well, let's see, this would be 20, 10, 20, 20, 110, 20. You with me? This would be 90, 20, I guess. no, less than that. 70 comma 20. You with me? So these two that have these complications, I think you'll appreciate being on starting at 0 comma 0 or 100 comma 100. And that way you can do the arithmetic and find the absolute coordinate for these added points, inside the perimeter. Anyway, let's do the first one. Let's start a brand new drawing. I'll close this without saving anything. We'll click on the plus sign this time. Unless your AutoCAD is customized a bit, it's identical to clicking Start Drawing. We'll click plus sign. Gosh darn it, why does the snap keeps turning on? I'll turn off snap. Again, snap and grid are handy for printed circuit boards, and maybe one-line drawings of electrical. Little use in machine parts. I'll turn off, I think this is transparency or annotative. Yeah, annotative. Everything is turned off except what we learned today, polar tracking, and it's still set for 45 degrees. Remember, you can add additional angles in addition to the increment by checking here and clicking new and typing. But it's more advanced than we need. Anyway, let's start the line command. I'll start at, oh, okay, we don't need to start until, now that I think of it, your machine part, your parts here might get spread all over the place. And we'll deal with that when we get there. Click line, we'll start at a random place. Doing number 1 here, 50 to the right. Hello. Okay, I misjudged how much real estate start from scratch drawing is. I can compensate by rolling my IntelliMouse wheel. There, I hit the hard stop. I can't zoom out any further. I can pan though. If you stop, how do you start from here? Well, next week or the week after, we'll learn how to start exactly on an endpoint of an existing line. But again, let's take it in steps here. We'll click line, 50 to the right. Double check mouse isn't sliding. 50 straight up. 8 to the to the left. Pan down. 8, enter. 25 straight up, enter. Ah, nuts. All right, let's erase everything and set view res higher so this won't happen again. View res, enter, yes. 20,000, enter. Now, where were we? Click line. $50, 58. By the way, REF means it's a reference dimension. By doing arithmetic, when it appears to be symmetric, one of the rules of technical drawing is that you can safely assume it is symmetric if it appears to be symmetric. So with these two dimensions, you really don't need to know what this is. It's 50, minus 24, minus 5, and minus 5 again would get you this 8. So REF is, you know, with mechanical parts, you don't want to dimension anything twice. You know, no extra dimensions. So, you know, sometimes they'll put an REF as a little courtesy, so you don't have to do the arithmetic. But don't take it to the bank, you know. Anyway, where was I? Click back here in AutoCAD to activate it. There we go. 8 to the left, 25 up, 5 to the left, 25 down, 24 to the left. Where was I? 25 up, 5 to the left, 25 back down, 8 reference to the left, right click, close. Dun, 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 dun. If you accidentally type something wrong, like instead of 8 to the left, you accidentally type 8 or 3 or anything, remember the undo option will give you a, what's it called, a mulligan, golfing lingo. So take advantage of the undo option of the line command. If you accidentally hit enter and stop drawing before you've closed and completed, this early in your training, you know, pick your favorite profanity and erase it all and start over again. Second one looks identical, just a couple different dimensions. Pick line or hit enter to bring up the last used command. I'll start, you know, try to keep them close together. 25, 40, 3, 3 down, 19 left, 3 up, 3 left, and close. Again, C enter, click close there. I'll try to remember to do the right click method. There's your completed exercise number 2 of your textbook with the arcs and circles, you know, simplified. Everybody with me that wants to be?
Right here.
Okay,
Yep.
no. I think we might let you out early. Don't tell anybody. Let's do number 7. And again, try to keep them close, but when we get to the bottom here, you might, you know, might want to pick an absolute coordinate, you know, and a nice round number like 50, 50 or 100, 100. Or so, you know, I'll expect some of you will have some blank space between. Anyway, hit enter to bring up the last used command. I'll start in the upper right corner of item project number 7, or exercise number 7. Click in AutoCAD to get the computer's attention. I'll start in the upper left. just so I can control the white space, between, anyway. There's more white space on your handout because I gotta, make space for the dimensions. We'll learn dimensioning. I think that's week number 8, last thing before our final project. I'll start. Oh boy, gotta do some arithmetic. All right. 25 minus 6 is 19. Half of that would be 9.5, right? So 9.5 plus 9.5 plus 6 would be 25. So 9.5. I'm sorry to make you do arithmetic. Down 10. Right 6. Up 10. Right 9.5 again. If my arithmetic's right. 20 down. Ooh, more arithmetic. All right, that's 65 minus 16 minus 25. All right, 65 minus 25 is 40. Yeah, 40 minus 16 is 24. Don't forget you got a calculator on your computer. Oh, duh, 24 reference. So I generously gave you a extra unnecessary dimension to save you the arithmetic. 24 to the right. All right, a little arithmetic. 33 minus 10 is 23 up. 16 right. 33 down. 65 left. And remember, if you accidentally type something terrible wrong, just right click and undo and sin no more. 65, enter. And C, or right click and close. Looks like I planned poorly. My 8 and 9 are going to be into the negative Y quadrant down here. That's okay. This X comma Y doesn't print out. Now check out the coordinates down here. Show you where you are. Right now the coordinates are rigged. So it shows you the X, Y, Z of the last point you specified. Tap on it. Now it's dynamic. It'll show you the X, Y, Z of your cursor instead of the last point you drew. So let's see, a nice round corner for the upper right of this part. Somewhere in this neighborhood, let's call it 80 by 30, 80 comma 30. Remember that? 80 comma 30. I'll launch the line command. We'll begin at 80 comma 30, enter. Down 75. For some reason, I'm going clockwise now. No idea why, but that's okay. Okay, I'm tempted to go 30, 30, 30. So I got an end point right there. and an endpoint right there. So once we learn the object snaps, I can begin at that endpoint and go up and across and just home in back on down to this endpoint. But it's a little early for that. Where was I? We'll go 10 to the left. Okay. Oh, going up 10, 30, 30, and 30. So that's total of 90 to the left. Ten down again. Ten across. There's the dimension there. If it looks symmetric, you're allowed to assume it's symmetric. Up 75. Right 10. What happened? All right, what went wrong? Oh, check it out. I carelessly typed 19. I missed 0 and accidentally hit 9. What do? Right click and undo and send no more. 10, enter. 10 down, enter. All right, 110 minus 10 minus 10 would be 90. Enter, or space bar. 10 up, enter, space bar, and C or right click and close. Now all I need is to go from here to there to there to the back down again. But where is that point right there? Well, what's this corner again? Here, I'll set my cursor and the coordinates. By the way, the third time you click on it, I think it stops forever. There's 3 settings. Dynamic, last point. Interesting. Maybe there's only 2 settings. I thought there were 3. Anyway, let's set it, keep clicking it until it moves with the cursor. So this is again 80, 30. Looks like I'm going to have to do some pencil work now. We want to go 70 down from this point to get down to this Y. No, 65 down. So it'll be 80 minus 65 is 15 in the Y direction. So the point I want to start here is X comma 15. What's the X? Oh, I'm messing up. Terribly messing up. Instead of, this is 80 comma 30. I'm coming down 60. Well, let's work on the X coordinate first. 80 comma 30. So that point would be 70 comma 30. Right? This would be 70 comma minus 45. Nope. Okay, it's the coordinates are showing it close to 70 comma minus 35. So 30 units to the left would be X equals 40 comma Y equals negative 35. You know, I'll have to admit I'm cheating here. I'm watching the coordinates when I'm hovering where I think it'll be. What I say, 40 comma minus 35, hit enter or space bar to bring up the last used command. I forgot it already.
$40 and negative 35.
Thank you. 40 comma negative 35, enter. That's the hard part. 30 up, 30 left. Double check the mouse isn't sliding. Now, if I type C for close, it's going to shoot back to here. So just type 30, enter to go straight down, and hit enter to terminate. And there's number 8 completed. I should have given you another break at 6:30, shouldn't I? Keep going for another 15 or take a 5-er?
I'm good to keep going.
I think I can hold it another 15 minutes. Too much Mountain Dew. Anyway, we'll work on simplified exercise 9 here. Let's see. Where should we start? Maybe I'll try to place it right here. So let's start and say in the lower left corner here. Okay, that would be activate the AutoCAD. This is a Y of minus 45. Maybe start at say 100 comma minus 45. I'm gonna write that down. CRS, you know. And I think it'll go about over to here and maybe about as high as here. So it'll neatly fit in there. Hit line or hit enter again. What did I say? Wrote it down. 100 comma minus 45. 10 to the right. 15 up. All right, 70 minus 10 is 60 to the right. Okay. Not sure if it should have been dimensioned a little better, but it's coming back down 15 again. Zoom crap's in the way here. Get that out of the way. That would be 16 and 20 is 36 to the right. Up 10. Now I got a choice here. Do I go to the left or do I go straight up? Let's continue to go straight up. 30. 16. Ew. What went wrong? I missed a point. I went 10, 30, 16. I should have gone 10, 30, 20, 16. Right click and undo. Being more careful. 20. 16. Now, how to find that point right there. This again is 100 comma 45. Wait a minute, why does it say 80 comma 45? Oh, okay, that's the third position. It's showing relative distance. This little less than caret is the old-fashioned way of typing distance at an angle. So that point right there would be approximately 80 units long in the 197-degree direction. So I want to click this again. There, now we're back to X comma Y comma Z. And now let's see, that would be approximately 100. I'm guessing minus 20, but let's do the arithmetic here. That is 100 comma minus 45. So minus 45 plus 25 would be hubbity 15. Already forgotten it. 100 comma minus 15, enter. Does that look right, or did I? Let's see, if this is minus 45, go up 25. I think I did wrong math. No, 15 it is. Nope, I'm 5 off. Yeah, that little coordinate on the cursor, it says I'm going to go down 30 units, but it only should be going down 25. Rats, I already forgot what coordinate this is. 100 comma minus 15. It should have been 100 comma minus 20. So right click and undo and type 100 comma minus 20, enter, and see or right click and close. Now, what would be this point right here? Okay, this is 100 comma minus 45. So this point would be 100 plus 70 plus 16 plus 20. Pull out my pencil here. 70 and 36. So the x coordinate is 106. So that is an x of 106. The y would be starting at negative 45, going up 10 would be negative 35. Anybody confirm that? If you're still there, let's launch the line command, and what I say, 106 comma minus 35, enter. Dope. What happened? I think I messed up on the x coordinate. Got my y appearing correct, but I messed up on the x coordinate. So again, this is 100. Okay, I forgot the 70. It should be 176 comma minus 35. Now, when I did the math, I added 70 plus 36, but forgot about the original what was that? 100. Okay, that's x equals 100. Start over again. 100 plus 70 plus 36 would be 206. Let's try 206 comma minus 35. Harder than I expected it. I think that's good. Set the cursor straight left 20, straight up 30. Enter to finish. Now again, week number 3, we'll latch onto that endpoint. Looks like that is 170 comma minus 30. Watching the display down here. Again, tap on the display until it's showing the coordinate of your cursor. Right, 100 plus 70 would be 170, duh. And minus 15, no, minus 45 plus would be 30. So 107 comma minus 30 would be that point right there, right? Yeah. Confirming the coordinates. Where was I? Enter to bring up the last used command. I've already forgotten it. 170 comma minus 30. Enter. Straight up 25 minus 15 is 10. And to the left 60. Should have gone 70. Right click, undo, 70, enter, enter again. Now, if that's 100, this would be 170. Actually, we had that point a minute ago, didn't we? $170 comma minus 20. That's right. We had this point, add 10 to it. So 170 comma minus 20, enter. I'm sorry, enter to invoke the line command. What did I say? 170 comma minus 20. Rest my cursor. I believe that's correct. Hit enter. Send it straight up. 15 reference. Enter. Enter to finish. Da, 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 da. Now save your file, like say, name it your first name, space, Wk1. So I know who did it and I know which week assignment. And then send it, attach it to an email to me. Okay, this ought to be review from learning computer before. I'll click Save As. I'll save it to my Documents folder. Remember where it is. Actually, for your sake, I'd suggest save it to your AutoCAD intro folder and create a Wk1 subfolder. Let me do that just to be a good student or good set a good example. Okay, I'm into my 2021 winter intro. I put an A because it's winter is the first season. That way the folders are chronological as well as alphabetical. Let's see, I want to create a folder. In your case, just say name it homework. I'm going to name it student work. Crack student work open and create a folder with the student's name, Paul in my case. No. Wk1. Double click, right click, new. I'm making this more complicated than it should be. Okay, you could, I guess you could just make a subfolder Wk1 and save it there, but I'm going to have a student work and then a week number and then a student name. And within that folder, we'll name it their first name space Wk1. Now you don't have to type, in fact, don't type .dwg. You'll end up with it being named .dwg.dwg. So it'll automatically add .dwg. I'll click save. So I've got it. I'll show you how to email it with your Gmail or MSN mail. I'll send it to myself. Paul's Wk1 homework. What happened? Oh, I'm keeping you overtime. Attach file. And let's see. Student work. Week 1. Okay, I missed. Should have anyway. There it is. I'll fix the move it the file structure later. Attached. Paul, comma. Here's my week 1 homework. Send. As soon as I get it, I'll open it up and immediately put in text your name. Well, I guess I shouldn't have to, but I guess I'm in an old habit where I used to print it out on paper and hand you within the apprentice school classroom. But I may or may not put your name on it, but I'll likely add in a layer of red stuff. We'll learn layers in the, I forget, week 4 or 5, but I'll add stuff in red showing, whoa, this is too long here. I just noticed I misspelled Paul's, always something. And if I got enough time, I'll print it out as a PDF and email it to you individually with perfect, can't find anything wrong, or whoops, found a couple of okay. Any final questions before we call it a week?
Yes. When do you want these sent to?
Ideally, I'd like it before midnight Saturday night.
Okay.
Now, if something comes up, 1 or 2 of you might get it to me midnight Sunday. But I don't want to have to look at all, how many we got? 8 of you? I might spend 10 minutes a piece on these nitpicking. Probably not, because this one's pretty simple, but we'll try to get it by midnight Saturday. I'll understand if you need an extra day or day and a half.
And everything that we have gone over today, like you said, you recorded this Zoom. You're going to post this somewhere if we need back reference on some things.
Correct.
Okay.
Yet tonight, I'll mass send an email. I guess this will be an experiment. I'll send all 8 of you in a mass email saying where the URL for the YouTube is. I don't know what's making that noise.
I don't either.
Thought it was my stomach at first. Anyway, my contract with the night school says I'm to place it in the week 1 assignment. But let's use the assignment. The Google Classroom is kind of a backup. So
for this homework, like the starting points for these drawings, like you were doing, I think it was like 180 and 180, 45. You want us to use those starting points for the homework as well?
No.
We can do any starting point you want, or?
Yeah, I just picked absolute coordinates.
So everything kind of lined up.
Right. So it's minimal white space.
Gotcha. I just wanted to make sure because I was kind of trying to follow you there and I undid something and it took my whole drawing away. So I didn't have the exact coordinate anymore. But you said as long as it's the correct dimensions, it's fine. It doesn't matter what starting point.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. Feel free to pause the YouTube video and make it exactly like mine, but I won't hold it to you or hold you to it. Okay.
I guess
last
question. Best way to get in touch with you if we have questions via email, is that the best way?
yeah, email to my Yahoo address.
Okay.
Feel free to call me, but I reserve the right to let you go to voicemail.
Yeah, I'm not going to call you unless it's something major. Much rather, I think email will be the best way. Not trying to disturb you.
Okay, let's call it a week. I'm gonna stop the recording. See you next Tuesday, folks.
Have a good evening.
You too. See you then.
Have a good evening.